And on the balance sheet, it doesn't reflect, so none of the statements reflect everything. It's all like a story that's being told together. So if any of you gave me these 3 financial statements, I could tell you how your business is doing completely, you know, like what the prospects are and like these kinds of things. Because it all tells a story together. This is, you know, if your income statement looks great, it's like, oh, good. Then you go to the balance sheet and you're like, you know, 700 million of debt. Oh, great. You know, this is where this is going. So, you know, and then you start to paint a picture of where the company is going, what the problems could be in the future. So, yeah. And I can go through all of them, but it's really like, okay, so cash is like but cash is like a, you know, cash, everyone knows what cash is, money. And accounts receivable is money that's owed to you. So you may have heard of like accounts receivable departments, they're just collecting money from everyone because it's like money that's owed to them. And inventory is like your stock, that kind of thing. There's like a whole bunch of other things. Capital assets for like, in this guy.
So is it worthwhile to try to figure this out yourself or just to hire an accountant?
I would say that you can pretty much, you know, I don't know. I mean, it's a tough question.
Maybe not full-time employed, but just get some
yeah.
build your numbers.
Well, I would say, I mean, you can do that. You can absolutely have someone go in and make it. But it depends on how, you know, number-oriented you want to be. I mean, yeah.
I mean, in a sense, you could say that nobody knows the company as well as you do. So, hiring somebody
you don't know the structure.
Because these are based on your projections, you know?
Yeah, and now you do know the structure because this is all available online for free, so you can see what this looks like. And
I think it's worth learning it because, like you said, you know your company the best, and then afterwards you go to an accountant with it, and they'll be able to kind of go through and just make sure that it's.
Yeah, and if the accountant is putting it together and you don't have sort of any knowledge of it, it's like hiring someone that could sort of take you for a ride because you'd be like, well, you know, what are you charging me all this for?
No, but I've got numbers coming in,
yeah, and
maybe I throw them into the wrong bucket. You know, I put it into cash equivalent instead of, you know, long term.
That's true. I mean, yeah, but it's cheaper to get an accountant to review it than to draft it completely, like from scratch. So that's another thing. If you have some of these contracts, if you have some of these, you know, financial statements, it's going to be a lot cheaper than getting them to build it from scratch. So, you know.
If you were to present your figures to an investor, and the investor knows that you're not an accountant, and your specialty is software, not accountancy, and you have kind of more or less, like, would he look at it and say, oh my God, this is not a proper P&L sheet?
I don't think, I mean, if he's really into the idea, he's not going to like jump over and say, oh my God, you know, you put the gross margin down here, I like it up there, you know, it's not going to be so picky about it, I don't think.
But it's just not something to take for him, because like I was under the impression, like I'm trying to do something with 3 people who each got 3 different skill sets to bring together. The part that we're probably missing is the kind of finance accountancy side. And that's kind of what I would expect an investor to bring into it.
Yeah, well they can, but if you just rely on the investor, you know, coming up with sort of the financing terms and the financing projections.
No, but I mean, more like we would produce something and they would say, yeah that's actually, it's like a company produces a product and then they go to get a marketing guy to come in and help them.
Sure, absolutely. But I would maybe recommend to consider some, at least consulting with someone, not the investor, someone who's a neutral third party, because the investor may take you for a ride in that case. They may give you some horrible deal if you don't, you know, if you're not prepared for it. So, yeah. Any other questions?
Like you giving us advice about how to approach investors for capital, but I think all of us, I suppose, are more or less startups. So the investors also actually got the idea, the experience of setting up a company, manufacturing contacts, and so marketing contacts. He was saying, sorry I can't see you, that he's got different members of the team who've got different strengths. And your potential investor might have all the strengths that you might need. Does that come into the pitch? How does that come into asking for investment?
I would definitely recommend not just find an investor who's going to just put money into it, but someone who can really help you with